Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're having a great and wonderful day. Well, it seems that there is a worry here, and I think that it's something to be of concern. It's going to probably scare maybe some of you, and rightfully so, but hopefully it does not come to pass at all. But it is something that we have to be wary and let your people and your family know so that way you best course of action to be safe. What we have here is this: terrorist attacks predicted for U.S. after Hamas assault in Israel. Some waves of attacks that could hit major U.S. cities over the next 14 months, a time frame that could coincide with the 2024 election cycle. Following this weekend's deadly attacks in Israel, which resulted in the worst carnage the country has seen since the Yom Kippur War in October 1973, the U.S. is being warned that a similar attack or series of attacks could be carried out domestically. Former House Speaker Kevin McCarthy says the porous U.S. southern border, coupled with numerous individuals from the terrorist watch list being intercepted there, could spell disaster for the nation. We should wake up ourselves. We could have the same thing happen next week to us, McCarthy told the Washington Free Beacon. We caught more people on the terrorist watch list in February than we caught in the entire administration. We could have cells sitting inside of America right now. The worry comes as questions swirl concerning Israeli intelligence saying they were caught off guard by the multi-pronged Hamas attack, which involved air, ground, and sea assets and hit both military and civilian targets. I agree because, honestly, there are things that are coming from, I would even say Egypt has said that warned Israel that this was going to happen, among other things. So what is our intelligence, and how do we cipher through all these people that are coming through our border, and do we know is going to be the actual Hamas people or not Hamas people or terrorists? And by all means, if these things do happen, then there's somebody that has to pay for it. And the Democrats really can't get away from this because this is a scary thing to think of. And honestly, I do not want to come up with these things. I do not want to talk about these things or horribly about, but we have to be aware and think this is the possibility of it coming, especially the way the border is. Our border is a complete mess right now. It's in, honestly, a war zone, I would almost dare say, without it being, without being any sort of conflict. It says Israel has the fourth strongest military in the world, trailing the U.S., China, and Russia. The country's intelligence agency, Mossad, has been regarded as the best in the world. The combined death toll from Israelis, members of the militant group Hamas, and Palestinian civilians surpassed 1,500 on the Monday after the devastating attacks took place. We should take a step back and look at ourselves, McCarthy said. Your intel is never perfect, and we've got a wide open border. They're coming from 160 different countries, including those known to harbor militant operatives with ties to global terror organizations. How do we know that this happening in the Gaza Strip? McCarthy asked. Everybody should look at their own intelligence right now. Much of the information obtained by intelligence agencies is gleaned through the collection of some type of electronic means. Cell phone calls and metadata, texts, emails, cameras, radio monitoring, and geofencing. However, a retired U.S. general says that Hamas was able to evade authorities by avoiding those platforms. Well, Hamas did what their leadership did was apparently they moved off of the normal modern communications links that we take for granted every day and went back to what you did in the 19th century. Face-to-face meetings they went and used couriers instead of going in and using the telephone or the cell phone, retired U.S. Air Force Colonel Legion said during a CNN interview. Which is stupid, right? Here's the thing that we have to go with other countries and we're going to debate them or battle them, etc. And why our country has not really thought of these other possible things. Countries are not as advanced as we are as first world countries and so forth. So even in this regard, we would have to possibly think that maybe, just maybe, they don't have the technology that we have, or they're going to use some other means, or some more prehistoric or some things, technology that would be doing it, which is they mentioned here. We should always have all these other alternatives and things open so we can get the best information possible. We should always know our enemy, and sometimes knowing our enemy is probably going back to things that we don't actually use today. We have to use every facet of information that we have. And if they're not using technology that we currently use, then we have to go back to technology that we deemed, not good. And unfortunately, I don't think our government or our military is capable of doing this because they're too stupid, quite honestly. and we need to find ways to, well, maybe protect ourselves. I can understand, however, during a separate interview with the network, he acknowledged the unlikelihood that a premier intelligence apparatus would have failed to connect the dots. I can understand that it would be possible to miss the fact that they are getting together a specific group at a specific time, and perhaps who those people are a specific piece of intelligence, he said. But every time there is a meeting of people like Hamas would have to have had, they would have to be talking to people. There would be movements in the streets. There would be certain things that would be going on, even if they are not broadcast or not talked about on a cell phone or on a radio or something like that. But Arcade wasn't the only high-profile individual sounding the alarm over the possibility of attacks on the U.S. soil. Independent journalist Laura Bloomer posted a message on social media platform X stating that sources have told her there were emergency meetings with U.S. intelligence personnel this weekend to discuss the rise of Hamas terror calls operating in the U.S. Bloomer cited posts on the social media app Telegram where Hamas urged their supporters to retaliate against Americans for the support of Israel. And here's where I'm going to propose something for you all to watch here. You know how I've been saying that there has been Pacific protests and protests and support from Israel in New York and stuff like that. I think it's time that I show you on how true I am in what's been going on in New York and who's been supporting these people. Take a look at this.
So we can purge that. Let's let it last for the protest.
Oh, you just stand on that and do it.
Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free!
Now, I'm not saying every last one of those people would be terrorists, but we wouldn't know or know how. And they're pretty much saying, as we said, Hamas is pretty much saying supporters go and attack. So I wonder what this would lead to, what these people would be doing, considering they don't seem to be caring too much about our own country, but they'd be caring about their other country they don't actually live in. So it makes me concerned on what's really going to happen to our own country here, and the people that are going to have to suffer from this destruction. Now, what we have here is that much of the information obtained by intelligence agencies gleaned through the collection of some type of electronic means, cell phone, blah, 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 blah. And what we have here is that I understand it would be possible to miss the fact they are all getting together at a Pacific group at a Pacific time, perhaps those people are Pacific intelligence, he said. And, all this great stuff that we've been going on here. But the issue that I have here is that, she further claimed that Hamas terrorists have already infiltrated the U.S. through the southern border and are planning to attack major cities over the next 14 months. So far this year, more than 151 individuals on the FBI's terrorist watch list have been apprehended at the U.S. southern border. There could be significantly more, there could be significantly less. We don't know, and that's the concerning part here. There have also been nearly 2 million gotaways who have made their way into the interior of the U.S. since the beginning of 2021. Former President Donald Trump also warned that Middle Eastern militants were entering the U.S. and could launch attacks in the near future. The same people that raided Israel are pouring into our once beautiful USA through our totally open southern border at record numbers, Trump posted on his social media platform Truth Social. Are they planning an attack within our country? Crooked Joe Biden and his boss Barack Hussein Obama did this to us. U.S. Representative, who was a co-chair of the Border Security Caucus, also took to social media cautioning about the potential presence of Hamas fighters in America. How many Hamas sleeper cells have crossed our southern border under the Biden administration's policies? Big as we are not prepared. And yes, in anything that happens to our country, to our cities, to the American people, Joe Biden, it is all their fault. They caused this problem. This cannot be Donald Trump because he is not in power. He is not the president. And here they are, the same organization, Biden, going after Trump over these horrible charges, these terrible charges that have no base in merit. And Biden, will be the cause to our country falling apart, being destroyed from within by terrorists because he let open the border. These people are disgusting. And you guys need to start understanding here is that if anything happens within this country from terrorists, from bombings, within the next 14 months, as stated, it is all Biden's fault. Because Trump warned us about this was going to happen. Trump tried to secure a border to prevent this from happening. And now that we're in this stage, we may have some serious issues. This is not a laughing matter. I don't think anybody's seeing me laughing, and I don't think you should be either. This is something that you're going to have to realize sooner or later. And this is the reality. And we already have people across the country, specifically in New York, not liking or supporting Palestine and what they've been doing to the Israeli people. They are supporting the butchering and murder of civilians. And I don't think that is okay in any regard. If it's military, that's one thing. But civilians, you're not going to get me on your side very much if you're advocating for the death of civilians. Not at all. Especially innocent ones, mind you. This is disgusting, and Biden has hell to pay if this truly happens. And honestly, God forbid, and all hope is glory, that this does not happen within our country. Alright guys, that's it for the video. Like, share, as always. Take care, be safe, and watch out.